What's up, everybody? It is your boy Brandon with the Morning After LSU. We're talking LSU versus Mississippi State, and just want to congratulate the LSU Tigers on their 7-0 record. For the first time under Coach Ed Orgeron, the LSU Tigers are 7-0 going into Auburn week next week. But I want to talk about the Mississippi State game. I want to give credit to Mississippi State. They had a solid game plan. They went into the game with a ball control mentality on offense and to be very aggressive on defense. It looks like every third down they blitzed. They sent pressure on probably 30 or 40% of their plays against LSU. And I get it. They want to rattle Joe Burrow. And they had interviewed the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, and he's basically said, when you look at Joe Burrow, he's too comfortable. He's a comfortable quarterback. So we need to get him off of his perch and make him uncomfortable a little bit. Sounds good in theory, but you got to have the horses to implement that game plan. And this is not the first team to try and do it. We understand that there's going to be tougher teams coming on the schedule, especially this week. So give credit to the LSU O-line. They did give up 3 sacks on Joe Burrow from what I've seen. I'm okay with that because as many times as Joe Burrow dropped back, you're going to get some hits. You're going to get a sack if the coverage is good. A lot of times it's just a coverage sack. Listen. I always say this in professional sports. Whenever, say hypothetically, when the Saints have a bad offensive series, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Drew Brees is washed up. What's going on? What the hell is the Saints doing? Why are they doing this?" Well, it's not about that. Other teams get paid to play football too, and defenses get paid to play football too. But on the college level, listen, man, they play ball too. So it's their job to stop LSU, and they didn't do a really good job of doing it. But you got to give credit because they did put pressure. And man, I got to tell you, the LSU wide receivers, the first quarter, had a bad case of the drops. It was not pretty. Man, I even tweeted about it. It's just this is ugly. It's going to be an ugly game, and you're going to have games like this because you throw the ball, you throw the ball, you throw the ball. Eventually, you're going to have some drops. You're going to have tighter coverage with the DBs on the opposing team. You're going to see some missed calls like we seen yesterday. Man, there was some blatant missed pass interference calls against Chase. And the touchdown, the very first play of the game, he threw a deep route to Chase along the sideline. And he was holding Chase, and they didn't call it, right? There was a face mask call against Joe Burrow. They didn't call it. Whatever. I digress. Anyways, there's going to be game plans to slow down the LSU offense, and sometimes it involves a little cheating, and they just going to make the refs call the game, and most defenses do that. They want the refs to tell them to stop. They'll do it. I mean, that's what Seattle did back in 2013. They held on almost every play, and they dared the refs to call it every play. Anyway, so that's what I seen when I seen the defenses play against the LSU wide receivers. They are forcing the refs to make the calls if they are getting beat, in which they did get beat a lot yesterday. But, 36-13, I predicted a 55-24. And once again, I was wrong. I think everybody who predicts the games are probably wrong. If we were right, then we would be living in Vegas. Or we'd be multimillionaires because we'd have all the answers, right? So they did cover 36-13. They covered the 18-point spread. That is still considered a blowout. It's not 55 points. It's not 60 points. But it is an SEC road victory. And you can't discredit what they did yesterday. I'm going to go over some stats, some things that just came up and caught my attention. First of all, obviously, Joe Burrow, 25-32. Right at his average of 79%, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And the 0 interceptions is what catches my eye. You drop back, you throw the ball 32 times on the road in that environment against a team who is playing very physical with your O-line, with your wide receivers, with their DBs, hitting the quarterback, trying to rattle the quarterback. You notice they played ball control the first quarter, mostly the first quarter, quarter and a half. LSU only came away with 9 points. You know, the first, I want to say, quarter or so. The recipe was there for LSU to turn the ball over, but they didn't. Elite quarterbacks will find a way to get his rhythm. He will take over the game at some point, and that's exactly what happened. Jefferson had 8 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. That's what you call a chains mover, averaging right at 10 yards a catch. My guy, number 17, Racing McMath, he's kind of one of my personal favorites on the team. He had a really good game. He went, I think he only had about 3 catches, had about 76 yards, had a big touchdown. It was a blown coverage. I will admit it was blown coverage by Mississippi State. But nonetheless, the dude still got to catch the ball and run the route and finish the job. So he did. Props to the wide receiver core. They did what they had to do. Thaddeus Moss had some really good catches in the first quarter. They were going to him quite often. I think they wanted to show people that it's not just the wide receivers and the running backs catching the ball. Everybody's going to catch the ball. And speaking of running the ball, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 11 rushes, 53 yards, 2 catches, 15 yards. And I just wrote this down because I didn't want to forget. I got to give credit to the freshman, Ty Davis-Price. This young dude is balling out. He had 8.2 yards per carry. I don't care how many total yards he had. I don't care how many rushes he had. I don't care if he had a touchdown. This dude is running for 8.2 yards per carry on the road at Mississippi State. Now, everybody wants to see the other freshman, Emory, get involved more. But it's obvious Emory's only getting in whenever it's garbage time with Brennan and the backups. Third strings, probably. That's just where he is in the depth chart. So I like Ty Davis-Price because here's what's happening. We're running the offense. And when it's time to close the game out, man, you put this young bull in there to pound people with his 230-pound frame. I mean, and he's fast and he's got good vision. I love his hips. I love his footwork. He finds the lane and he finishes his runs. You don't see too many freshman running backs finishing their runs. I mean, he's not Leonard Fournette, but he runs like Leonard Fournette when he finishes his runs. I think he's got a little more fluidity to his runs than Leonard did. Leonard is more of a power back. But props to Ty Davis-Price, man. He's going to be an absolute stud if he isn't one already. We went over the drops for the wide receivers. Burrow is now a meme, which is not something I really wanted to see, but we all seen his moonshine on national TV, and it's all over the internet, and it's pretty funny, to be quite honest with you. This is going to be the Burrow butt game, the Burrow ass game, the Burrow moonshine game, whatever you want to call it. His white booty was exposed, and it was pretty funny. And he laughed it off after in the post-game presser. He just, talked about it being a full moon that night, and it was just pretty funny to watch. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. He said it's never happened before. If you want to look at it from the defensive side, he was going to get the sack. He was not letting Burrow throw that ball. Burrow was trying to break off to look for the open player downfield. Dude, when your pants is down to your hip, you got to just fall. He tried picking it up. That's just take your sack. Okay. Speaking of Burrow, he broke the passing record. He broke the passing record held by Matt Mock and Jamarcus Russell at 28 touchdowns in the season. He broke it at Mississippi State in October. Still got 5 games left to play. My prediction for this is he's going to break the 50 touchdown yard. He has been averaging 4 touchdowns a game from the get-go. And the defense for Florida was supposed to be the best defense we're going to face all year. Now, Mississippi State's defense was solid. They were solid, but they weren't Florida's defense. You can tell the personnel is not the same. Auburn's defense, their beef is in the middle of the front line. Their D-line is good. They're really good in the middle. Okay, they're pretty average by SEC standards on the edges and at the linebacker position. So it's going to be a different type of pressure. There's going to be some A-gap pressure against LSU next week. I'm predicting because Brown is going to be a first-round draft pick. He's one of their best D-linemen out there. They do move him around on the D-line, but he's mostly a 3 technique. He's kind of in the middle. You're not going to see a lot of edge pressures unless they decide to blitz against LSU. And where I'm going with this is that you can expect to see more of the same with the LSU offense. Probably more along the lines of 30 to 35 points against Auburn, not 55 to 60 points. I think you're going to see the competition step up, and the results are going to simmer down a little bit. So our expectations need to simmer down as well, unless he becomes Tom Brady from 2007 and he blows people out the rest of the year. But we'll see. You know, with LSU running the ball more, the explosive 50, 60-yard passing plays won't be there. It's going to be more ball control, keep your defense fresh. Defense look good. Man, Rashard Lawrence had his presence felt yesterday. Abu Ika had his presence felt yesterday. Tyler Shelvin is becoming a man on that D-line. Those are some names. You know, I saw Fehoko show out. Glenn Logan showed out. Farrell showed out. These boys played. I love Marcel Brooks coming off the edge. He is undersized, but he is only a freshman. This boy is so fast. One of the most impressive things I've seen is whenever they went on their cheetah package and they blitzed, the quarterback's a running quarterback. He kind of got free. He covered 7 yards in like a second to catch up to him and tackle him. I mean, his closing speed, talking about Marcel Brooks, is just amazing. And that's one of the things that Gary Danielson had said in the broadcast nationally is the speed on this team is unbearable. It's just crazy. So good luck. Good luck on third down against LSU. That's all I got to say about that. Man, look. It's just pretty cool to watch LSU be successful. Like I said, Coach O's never been 7-0. We're hoping we could be 8-0 after next week. Auburn is such a huge matchup for us. LSU tends to get up for these games. The focus is going to be there. It's a home game. CBS is going to be there at 2:30 in Baton Rouge. The weather is supposed to be awesome. It's not going to be a really hot game like it was for the Leonard Fournette game a few years back. As we get a cool front coming through, so it's going to be real brisk, an awesome atmosphere. Another takeaway I noticed is that Coach O is embracing the favorite role. Ranked top 2 in the nation, could possibly be ranked 1 this week with Alabama's quarterback going down, because now they're looking more average without the quarterback. Excuse me, my phone's going off. But we've seen Alabama look mortal this year, and this video will not be about Alabama, but I'm just talking about the rankings. They have Alabama ahead of LSU only because of their quarterback and their offense, and now their offense is going to take a huge hit because the quarterback's hurt. We don't know how long he's out for, and neither do I care. I only care about the team we're going to dominate this weekend. That is the Auburn Tigers. Bo Nix is going to have his ass handed to him. That's all I'm going to say about Auburn right now. I'm going to have a preview and prediction video this Friday. We're going to talk about the matchups. We're going to talk about expectations. I'll have a preview of that, the defense, the prediction. LSU is a favorite right now. I'm not sure by how much. I'm going to have to check it out. I'm going to say that LSU is probably going to be an 8 or 6 point favorite against Auburn because Auburn can play defense and they can run the ball. But nonetheless, it was a great win for LSU yesterday. Kind of an ugly game. I want to say Burrows was, I think, 7 for 12 to start the game, and then he racked off 4 for 4 with 2 touchdowns. This dude was, they were spotty at first, dropping the balls. And then once they got their groove, it's just a machine. This offense is a machine. It's just so impressive to watch the confidence and just the dominance. The O-line needs a lot of credit because they are keeping him clean. Yes, he gave up a couple pressures and sacks yesterday, but they are keeping him clean for the most part, and they're running the ball. So there ain't much more you could ask. And I'm thinking the co-MVP these last couple weeks of the offense has got to be Thaddeus Moss. He is making some huge blocks in the run game. And no, that's not going to come up in the stat sheet, but if y'all go back and look, Thaddeus Moss has been blowing people up in these run fits, and he's catching the ball, moving the chains, getting big plays. So that's just more for other teams to worry about. And I think Terrace Marshall will be back for the Auburn game. It's going to be awesome to see you guys. Once again, 36-13, LSU got the victory. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the LSU victory. Let me know if y'all think that them ranked number 2 right now in the AP is an overrated rating, or should they just be stayed at number 5? Do y'all think they should be number 1 in the country now? Tell me what you guys think. Until then, later.